Within Business Hub, we have the Sales and Service section. This is where we can create quotes and orders from scratch and edit them whenever necessary. To create a new quote, simply go into the Quote section, add new quote, find a customer to create the quote for, or add a new customer, and start entering your line items. Before you enter the line items, know that at the very top, we can give a quote or an order a name. We can enter a customer's purchase order number, set when the order or quote is to be shipped by, and when it expires. To create our line items, there's really 3 different methods you can. I can add a previously ordered product. That is anything that the customer's ever been quoted or has ordered. It can greatly streamline the process and allow you to essentially charge the same amount that you did on a previous order if necessary. Secondly, we have a freeform product. A freeform product is our get out of jail free card. This is more of how you would essentially create a line item in QuickBooks. It's just typesetting, hey, it's the Gildan 5000. It's black with a full color DTF print. We're charging $20 a shirt, and we have 1 small, 1 medium. And I could click on this little gear here and I could attach a file. It's really just us typing, this is what the customer's buying, and attaching a photo, just so we're all on the same page. This gets the job done. This is not the best way to essentially create a quote or an order within DecoNetwork. The best way to do it, whenever possible, is to find a blank and drop the artwork on there. There's many advantages to doing it this way. So we'll come here to add new product, search for an item. So I can just type Gildan 5000, or I could open the product selector. This will allow me to further filter based on category, search, size, color, brand, supplier, process. But for now, we'll just do the Gildan 5000 from Sanmar. And with Sanmar, S&S, and several other suppliers out there in the UK and even Canada, we have live inventory and smart purchase ordering capabilities. So if we look here at the size quantity, you will see we have the actual supplier's inventory on hand for each SKU. So every size and color, we know how much the supplier has, and we can stop ourselves from selling something that's out of stock. What we want to do is load the product in the design tool. And we're going to start dropping the artwork onto the product. What sets DecoNetwork apart from most of their competitors is the fact that when artwork is uploaded on the design tool, it is immediately calculating the price right then and there. If we are going on a dark product and we have an underbase for screen printing or DTG, we will automatically count for that underbase. We can count colors, we can count stitches, we can look at the size of the print. All of those variables are configured within the admin decoration process itself. For this example, we'll add a customer design. We'll do a screen print design, and we'll upload the DecoNetwork logo. And you can see here, here's our logo, and we will map it to be all white. And now we are a 1-color print. And we'll go on a dark shirt right here. And we have the underbase turned off in this example. But if I wanted to look at this as a 2-color, I absolutely could. So we've added our artwork here. We'll click done. But we haven't hit the minimum. We're not going to screen print 1. We haven't really entered any quantity. So we'll enter how many we need of each size for this color. So we're going to say we need 12 medium, 12 large, 12 extra large. Click OK. And the software is so smart that it's going to look at, okay, we have 36 impressions of this design, And that means that we're going to charge $4.85. It's looking at the price matrix that we create in the backend, and based on the variables, in this case, how many colors are in the artwork and what the quantity of impressions are of that design. And that's how it came to $4.85. And then as far as the blank goes, it's the product price comes in at $286. We're applying a 50% markup. That brings the blank price to $429. $429 plus $485 equals $914. Let's say the customer wants the same artwork on a different color product or a different product altogether. We can add a new product and then add the design, or come over to the little gear here, copy the line item. Watch the $485 decoration price now comes $380. It is looking at it as we're going to use the same set of screens. As long as these designs are linked, it will use the same screens and we don't need to worry about that. If I unlink the design, then they will be separate lines, and obviously the price will go up for both lines. But maybe on this line, we're going to go on a white shirt, and I don't want to go white on white. So I'm going to remap the colors, and we'll make that black. So we'll do white on black, black on white. We do not have any screen fees. That's not how we've configured this account, but you absolutely can have screen fees. You can have artwork fees, and then you can add extra charges, something like a color change. And if you don't already have it, you'll define that new extra charge, and you can save it as permanent. Anytime we do a color change, we charge $15. It's that simple. Just find a product, add the artwork, and as long as the price matrix is properly configured within the admin, it'll automatically calculate the correct decoration price. But you can always override any prices back here. You can override the blank product price. You can override the decoration price. In this case, we're like counting colors. If I click on here, I can say, you know what? I want to look at this as a two-color design. I can do that and the price will change. I can just override the price if I want. Everything you want as far as control is here. You just kind of have to click a couple times. If I want to add additional notes from a production standpoint, I could click on the gear here and I could add line item notes. Okay, we actually are going to do 3D puff for the icon, not text portion. And what that also means is I don't want to look at this as a one color. I want to look at it as a two, and we're going to do a second color, or essentially that puff white on just the icon. So we're going to change this to two colors. And you can see the 460 change, but over here, I'm not going to do the puff. I'm going to just leave as is. If you want to put any notes that you just need to store for the production staff and they're not tied to a specific line, come over here, add internal notes. If you want to add additional notes and have them shared with your customer, put them down here. If you want to offer the customer terms, or if they have to pay up front, just make sure it's no terms. But once you're happy with the line items for a quote, simply click Save and email the quote. The customer will get an email with a link to view the quote. They'll then be able to view the quote within their profile. When they come into the quote, they can then approve or reject it. If they approve the quote, then they can pay for the quote. A quote does not become an order until it's been approved by the customer and payment terms are met. Now, in this example, we have net 30 terms. So as long as we are approved by the customer, this will become an order. I can manually mark the quote as approved here. If we need the customer to pay and they have not, this email payment request sends the customer a link to then easily log into their account and pay for the order so that you can begin production. This quote became an order. It just moves its way in here within the order section. We can view the history notes. Every step that we take, all of the communication back and forth with the customer is stored here. We can apply a payment. We can apply a refund. We can apply credit that the customer already had. I can view the production status. I can download the production worksheet, the inventory pull slip. I can view the financial details as far as a commission, taxes, and any communication we've gone back and forth with the customer, including have they opened or read the email notification we sent to them. A big mistake I commonly see is customers, or essentially users of DecoNetwork, try to process orders up here. The order section is really where we would apply payment, where we would make an update to the order or contact the customer. This is not the section where you download the artwork or you raise a purchase order technically most of the time. You can raise a purchase order, but typically you're going to raise it down here in the processing section. When it comes to quotes and orders, practice makes perfect. The more you do them, the better you get, the simpler it gets for everybody. It's a good idea to first try entering quotes and orders that you have currently. You don't have to just start diving into Deco and use the newest quotes and orders that are coming in. It's a good idea to practice with former quotes and orders. That way your staff gets comfortable before we start making any mistakes or delaying orders in any way. If you have any questions on how to create a quote, order, or anything else related to DecoNetwork, simply come up to the top of the page, use the search, and you will find a lot of great help articles and videos. Anytime those aren't doing the work, click on the question mark icon, raise a support ticket with Client Services, who is always available to help you whenever you need. Thank you.